Hey everyone, how are you? This is Teacher Ricardo. I am a social lead teacher here at the César dos Campos campus. I came to talk to you a little about rural and urban issues. Look, it's a very important topic in our lives because it marks our story, our personal stories, the stories of our families. For example, I have relatives who come from northwestern Brazil, from the state of Ceará, to live in the city of São Paulo. There are also immigrants who came in the early 20th century to work on the farms here in the interior of São Paulo. Therefore, this has to do with this migratory movement that's happening national and international. Well, the thing about the rural exodus is the many people leave the rural towns, cities, work, raise cattle, and plantations. And these people have to adapt in search of a better life. So they think, no, my education here is poor, the healthcare system is precarious. I can live for a better big city. So what do? They live where they live to go, a place where everything seems to be innovative. That's here Search that Scopes comes in. I've lived here since I was born, so I can safely say it's a good city, but if you compare it to my relatives from Minas Gerais, who come from Brisópolis, Paraisópolis, and Conceição dos Ouros, they can say it's even better from me, because the living conditions, education, healthcare, and commerce are much better. It's developed. There are indeed some negative aspects such as pollution, segregation, where people are thrown into the suburb of the city. However, the good thing is that they can discover new worlds, have a better life, and new opportunity, a better life and build. And it's starting for creative, the person doesn't have to means. So the rural is a risk to our society, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because many people leave their rural homes and come to their big cities. This can even be a better opportunity for life. So, why did this happen? It wasn't by chance. The constitution of our capitalist society was localized in a specific part of the country in the 20th century, mainly in São Paulo. And what this capitalism need? It needs labor. So, what lead to the rural exodus, for example? The rural exodus is the result of this transfer of the population from the countryside, from the country's poorest regions to come and work in industries in São Paulo, for example. So, this marks the rural exodus.
While big cities have their positives, urban exodus shows that just because you live in a big city doesn't mean you will have the life of your dreams. People often have the illusion that living in a big city means they will get a job, own a big house, and live in a nice place. But that's not what happens most of the time. Urbanism is essentially the migration of people who live in places like these big cities to smart towns, inland cities, or coastal cities in search of greater security, a better quality of life, and better jobs.
But you also have the urban exodus, which is what? People live in smaller cities and head into large urban centers, which is what happens, for example, here in our municipality of São José dos Campos. There are several people here alone, and here you see that there are many residents from various states of the country who come from smaller municipes. So, that's it. In general terms, what I have to say to you. A hug.